What's up, Kevin here. So I just purchased this Craftsman 14-inch 1 horsepower bandsaw. I have a video out on my channel showing me unbox, assemble, and make all the necessary adjustments to this saw, and at the end of the video I did a brief review. So if you're interested in seeing that, there's a link to that video in the description box. But what I'm going to do today is add infeed and outfeed extension tables on this saw. You know, I'm pretty happy with the saw so far, but like almost every bandsaw I've ever seen, the table that comes with it is just too small to really cut large pieces of wood. You know, this table is only about 16 inches this way and 20 inches this way. So what I'm going to do is add about 18 total inches to the length of this table. And I'm going to make use of the 4 threaded holes that are underneath this side of the table, and there's 2 threaded holes on the edge of this side of the table. So I'm going to make use of those. I'm going to find some bolts that fit those holes, and I'm going to do that today. So if you're interested in seeing how I do it, stay tuned. Maybe everyone already knows this trick, but if you don't, applying a piece of tape along the cut line greatly reduces the amount of tear out. Now I use another piece of tape to mark the hole spacing, which I will then transfer to the piece of plywood that I just cut. After looking through my stash of knobs and only finding one 5/16 knob with the bolt already stubbed out, I decided to just make my own by threading the same size knobs onto 2.5-inch toilet bolts. This is how I intend to attach the bottom support piece to the table. So now I'm going to convert those holes that I drilled into slots so that the infeed extension can be easily removed. So now I need to make a shim board that, when combined with the thickness of the top piece of plywood, will match the thickness of the cast iron table. This is easily done by running the shim board through the planer and inching up on the correct thickness. If If you don't have a planer, you can take a piece of 1x lumber, put it on the table saw, and cut strips of the correct thickness. Next, I glued all 3 pieces together, but as a side note, if I had to do it all over again, I would probably just use 3 countersunk screws to attach the 3 pieces together. So with the infeed table complete, I use a piece of tape to mark the hole spacing for the outfeed table. Since these pre-threaded holes are on the edge of the cast iron table, I'm going to use 2 bolts to attach a cleat to the edge of the table, upon which I'm going to glue a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. I was able to use the old tape trick to transfer the horizontal placement of the holes to the cleat, but I had to do a little measuring to get the correct vertical placement of the holes. Then I drilled some oversized holes to give myself a little wiggle room for the vertical placement. Alright, so there you have it. And yes, I know they don't exactly match. I used 3/4 inch rough grade plywood for the infeed table. I used a piece of nice finished 1/2 inch plywood on this side. You know, if I'm going to build something to give to someone or something to sell to someone, I'll bend over backwards to make it look beautiful. But for something like this, I'm all about functionality and using up all those little pieces of scrap plywood I've got laying around the shop.